Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The following video is a humorous and satirical, almost commentary of certain events and gameplay. I hasten to add, gameplay elements of Crusader Kings 2, and the purpose of this video is purely to make people laugh and entertain them, and should not be taken seriously. In a better world, I wouldn't have to say this at all, but hey, we don't live in a better world, so... Before we begin, let me just add, let me just say, actually, a big thank you to the Facebook group, Let's Play Crusader Kings 2, which basically made this video possible. So let's begin. Things that we say in CK2 that we should never, ever, ever, in any context say in real life, and yet make perfect logical sense within this beautiful game. Number 1. No matter how good you do in your life and how awesome you are, it is inevitable that your children will screw everything up. I mean, literally everything. Never ask for a paternity test. It's far better to believe that all your children are actually yours. Babysitters, the fucking bastards, always, and I mean always, steal money from you. I'm looking at you, Eden. Multiculturalism and secularism is a terrible, terrible idea. Killing literally everyone is far, far safer than killing just a few of them. Kidnap and ransom the rich people whenever possible. I thoroughly recommend killing all women after the age of 50, as they no longer have childbirthing capabilities. And besides, don't worry, you can get a hot 16-year-old before your former wife's body is even cold. Yes, come here. It is a fairly bad idea to fall in love with a horse. But to be immortal, to share your immortality with said horse, and then to spend literally 500 years trying to impregnate said horse is the mother of bad ideas. Speaking of horses, apparently if you take life advice from a horse, people don't tend to take you very seriously for some reason. Maybe because the horse is an imbecile? Maybe because it's a fucking horse. I don't know. If you have certain friends, acquaintances, people that don't like you in general, just throw gold at them. If you don't have gold, well, you don't deserve to be liked. But if they still don't like you after you've thrown enough gold, then you're not throwing enough gold at the problem. It is a scientifically known fact, throwing gold at people makes them like you 25 points more. At least, well, you know, at least if you have a decent diplomacy score and enough gold to begin with. Banging your head against the wall can occasionally cure cancer. I swear to God, it worked a few times for me. You know, initially I thought I was a very moral man. This game showed me otherwise. You should never kill family members or relatives. Ever. That is strictly against the law and should never be done. What you do instead is you lock them up in a dungeon like rats, don't feed them anything, and keep them there for 20 years until they die of starvation, or disease, or whatever. And you know what the best part of it is? Check it out. They won't even blame you for it. Killing off children is usually a very easy and a very, good idea when you want to keep the land within the family and, directly under your control and all that. It's fairly effective. I recommend doing it very often. Sometimes, there's no way around it. Pillaging and raping is really the only way to move society forward as a whole. There is really no alternative. But, that aside, I've also realized something, from a very personal perspective. Family drama as a whole has toned down a lot since the medieval times. My God, the worst thing I did was have a verbal fight with my parents. I never cut off any family members' heads or anything. Damn, we live in a different era. European nations beware. Muslims are an existential threat. Just ask my neighbour France. Was that too soon? Was that too soon? I feel like I should apologise again. Gameplay. Strictly gameplay, right? Look at this. If your sister's really hot, and attractive, and smart, and lustful, and genius, just convert to the Persian religion. Trust me. It'll be fun. Some life advice for all you parents out there. As you see, I'm a well-accomplished father within this game. If your older son is an idiot, and your younger son is very smart, very brave, very well-built, in fine physical form, it is totally acceptable to murder the hell out of your elder son to make sure that the younger one inherits you. Nobody will judge you for it. Trust me. We all do it. It happens all the time. Electing a horse to become the Pope is not the worst thing that ever could potentially happen. Only talk to women if you intend on breeding them. All other forms of communication are a bloody waste of time. If you ever feel depressed, remember, getting married is only 2 clicks away. If you ever feel happy, remember that can all change because getting married is only 2 clicks away. If you're unmarried and think life couldn't get worse, remember, getting married is only... Okay, you get the point. But there is one thing that this game has taught me above anything else. I don't really have a screen to show this. But this game has taught me that it is indeed possible for a man in prison for 5 years. He's sitting in prison for 5 years, right? It is indeed possible for him to impregnate his wife 3 times without ever leaving the dungeon. Either his penis is impressively long, or it keeps sneaking out at night. Surely there is no other way for his wife to get pregnant? Surely. I mean, we're Christians. Surely. Another very important thing to remember. It is absolutely fine to kidnap a young girl, keep her in your dungeon until she's 16, and then take her as your concubine, provided you're willing to wait. Nobody's going to think any less of you. As a matter of fact, she's going to be grateful. Just like in life in general, the Scots have indeed ruined Scotland. Never start a land war in India. Ever. These fortresses are fucking ridiculous. Russia, on the other hand, flipping easy. You'll conquer that in a week, don't worry. Seriously, they have, like, no defenses. Look at this. Look at this. I can take this in, like, a week. Pfft, noobs. And finally, as my last piece of advice for you, and my last piece of information that makes sense literally nowhere but here, if your son, or one of your sons, is by any chance celibate, don't worry. You can always bang his wife. Just so long as he doesn't know. Things will work themselves out. Even if he is your heir. Huh? Catch my drift? Going fishing in some random lake can result in you either dying and being killed by Satan or becoming a Satanist. It's actually fairly common for those things to happen. If you live somewhere in Scandinavia, sacrifice Christians often. As a matter of fact, as often as fucking possible. There we go. I can't think of anything else. I hope you find this at least somewhat entertaining and enlightening, if you will. The beauty of it is, all of this information that I gave you is 100% correct and useful, especially to newer players. I fuck you not. That's the beauty of it. Even if it's not the funniest joke in the world, it's all correct, right? And that's the fantastic thing about this game. If you want to get into CK2, just watch this video. I think you now know the basics of the game. Alright? Well, not really, but like I said, it's all 100% correct. If you have any of your own ideas, feel free to post them down in the comments. I would love to read them. I know that there are far more creative people than me out there, and yeah, if you want to expand on this, then feel free to. I would love to hear some of your suggestions. I hope you found this at least somewhat entertaining, or, like I said, maybe you've learned something. Probably have. I'm assuming, especially for newer players, a few things that you've never heard of here again, all 100% correct. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Juggernaut. Thank you for watching once again, and take care, and bye-bye. And also, like and subscribe down below if you enjoyed this video, why don't you? Bye-bye.